In this video, we're going to be talking about sentence structure. We're going to look at different types of sentence structure, and we'll analyze what makes a complete sentence in English. I hope you really enjoy it. If you do, please like and subscribe, and stay to the very end to find out how you can get more content and connect with me on my website. So let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about complex sentences. Complex sentences have at least one independent clause or have one independent clause and at least one dependent clause. A dependent clause is a group of words or with a subject and a predicate, but it can't be its own sentence. For example, here is a dependent clause. We have, although it was raining. Although it was raining, if I just stop there, it's difficult to know what you want more. You're like, and what? Although it was raining, the children continued playing outside. This part is an independent clause. The children continued playing outside can stand by itself. But although it was raining, it's a dependent clause. You cannot stand by itself. You're always asking, what's the complete thought? It's not a complete thought. Remember, a complete sentence, a simple sentence, has a subject, a verb, and is a complete thought. Although it was raining is not complete. That's why it's an independent clause. We often use these subordinating conjunctions to show a complete clause or to show the independent, we often use these coordinating conjunctions to show our dependent clause. We have after, and that's, after, although, as, because, before, if, since, though, until, when, and while. These are very common subordinating conjunctions. Okay, so let's look at this. We have after the storm, the streets were flooded because the drainage system couldn't handle the heavy rain. Okay, let's parse this out. After the storm. Now, there's no verb in this. After the storm. So it's not any kind of a clause. It's just a time phrase. It's a prepositional phrase that expresses time. The streets were flooded. That is an independent clause. Because the drainage system couldn't handle the heavy rain. If you just say, because the drainage system couldn't handle the heavy rain, you don't know, you're still waiting. What? So you want to say, so that is the dependent clause because it's dependent on this information right here. Okay? After the storm, the streets were flooded because the drainage system couldn't handle the heavy rain. Now, we can put this together in the exact same way. And we're going to parse it out like we did in other videos, the other parts. So let me get rid of these, all of the little explanations that are in here. Okay. Let's break it down to its very basic two parts. Okay. The relationship here is shown in the because. I'm going to even take the because out and make them two independent clauses. Okay? The streets were flooded. The drainage system couldn't handle the heavy rain. Now, let's What kind of streets were they? Or when did it happen? After the storm, right? What kind of streets were they? Maybe they could be narrow streets. Okay. What kind of storm was it? We could say it was a major storm. Okay. And how was it flooded? We could say that's a verb, so we need an adverb. It was heavily flooded. Okay. The drainage system. The drainage system, that's a verb, or that's a noun. What kind of drainage system? Maybe the drainage system was old. Okay. How can you handle? You handle things. You can easily handle things. Okay, and then we already have an adjective here, so we don't really need it. All right, so we have time phrases, we have, and we have lots of adjectives. So let's see what we can do with this. Our first sentence, we need it to be capitalized. What kind of streets were they? The narrow streets, that means skinny. The narrow streets were flooded heavily, or we can even say were heavily flooded. Okay. The narrow streets were heavily flooded. And then where do we put after the storm? After the storm can come before the noun or before the whole sentence. And then we have it with we say after the major storm, comma. If I put it there, I need a comma. If I put it here, I don't need a comma. Okay? If I put it there, then I don't need a comma. The narrow streets were heavily flooded after the major storm. That's a complete, simple sentence. Now let's talk about the drainage system. The old drainage system couldn't easily handle. So I said that the adverbs go after the noun or after the verb. They usually go after the verb. They can go between two verbs. And if your verb is the be verb, because the be verb is just always weird, then the adverb goes before. No, the adverb goes after. I am often sad. I'm often happy. Okay. So the adverb will go after the verb or in the middle. I go frequently, except for adverbs of time. English grammar is organic. So there are never any hard, fast rules, but adverbs, unless adverbs of time, go after the verb and as close to the verb as you can get it. All right. So now we have two sentences here and we have all of the information. We were even able to add some beautiful words to make it make more sense and sound more literary. The narrow streets were heavily flooded after the major storm. The old drainage system couldn't easily handle the heavy rain. Okay, we could just leave these two simple sentences like this and have it be absolutely beautiful. But we want to show a relationship between these two things. So the problem is that the old drainage system, the old drainage system couldn't easily handle the heavy rain. Okay, so we're going to put because the old drainage system couldn't easily handle the heavy rain, comma, the narrow streets were heavily flooded after the major storm. Okay, we can do it like that. If you put the dependent clause first, you need a comma. But if you put the dependent clause second, you do not need a comma. Okay? The narrow streets were heavily flooded after the major storm because the old drainage system couldn't easily handle the heavy rain. Okay? That's how you make a big, beautiful sentence. Break it down to its simplest parts and then start putting in the ideas. Let's look at some examples. And I recommend that you stop the video, you look at it closely and see if you can understand what's happening in each one of these sentences. So in the bustling city, the old theater stood where famous actors once performed. As the sun set, the sky turned vibrant hues of red and purple before the stars started to appear. Despite the challenges, the team worked hard because they were determined to succeed. Before the guests arrived, the host prepared a delicious meal to ensure a warm welcome. In the early morning, the fog enveloped the valley as if nature was wrapped in a mysterious cloak. Oh, that's beautiful. And I love how they use as if in here for the conjunction. That's a very literary way to say it. They're using metaphor in this sentence. And it gives an emotion as you think about it. While exploring the ancient ruins, they discovered a hidden chamber where artifacts from a bygone era were preserved. Where is our subordinating conjunction? As the music played, memories from the past flooded her mind as if transported back in time. Despite the heavy workload, he managed to complete the project because he prioritized tasks effectively. Okay, I'm so glad that you stayed with us to the end. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. I have conversations that I offer on Zoom. If you want to sign up for those conversations, go to my YouTube or my website at thezarden.com, and I'd be happy to work you into our schedule. My conversations provide you with materials and a native speaker facilitator to help you with the conversations. They're weekly, and you'll be talking with people from all over the world. We try to keep our conversations small, so there will be no more than 8 people in your group, and I look forward to working with you. If you have any questions or you want to comment on this video, please comment below. I do look at those comments and they help me get better at what I'm doing. I'll talk to you later and have a great day.